Let's talk about a force so powerful it can turn the ordinary into the extraordinary, the routine into the remarkable, and the impossible into your new normal. That force is enthusiasm. Now, before you roll your eyes and imagine a crowd of overcaffeinated cheerleaders, hear me out. Enthusiasm isn't just about being loud or smiling wide or bouncing around the office. True enthusiasm is a burning fire inside a relentless drive that turns dreams into reality and obstacles into stepping stones. You see, talent is good, skill is better, but enthusiasm, that's the spark that brings it all to life. I've watched brilliant people with all the advantages in the world struggle because their hearts weren't in it. And I've seen so-called average folks outpace the competition, break records, and build fortunes all because they attacked life with genuine passion. Enthusiasm isn't a gimmick. It's not about putting on a happy face and pretending everything's great. Real enthusiasm comes from belief. Belief in your purpose, belief in your mission, and belief that what you're doing matters. When you're enthusiastic, you become magnetic. People want to work with you, help you, follow you, doors open, problems shrink, and let's face it, life just feels better. But here's the hard truth. Enthusiasm is not handed out for free. The world doesn't mail you a box of it on your birthday. It has to be cultivated, protected, and renewed. There will be days when your energy is low and your circumstances seem bleak. That's when enthusiasm isn't just helpful, it's essential, because it's the only thing strong enough to pull you through the mud. Let's get specific. Think of the last time you were truly fired up about something. Maybe it was a project, a new job, a relationship, or even a personal goal. Remember how easily you overcame setbacks, how willing you were to go the extra mile, how time seemed to fly. That's enthusiasm at work. It's the emotional fuel that pushes you to start, keeps you going through the grind, and helps you finish strong even when others drop out. But don't be fooled. Enthusiasm is not a born with it or not trait. It's a choice. It's something you nurture day by focusing on what excites you, aligning your actions with your values, and finding meaning in what you do. The moment you start treating enthusiasm like a skill, not just a feeling, you unlock a level of energy most people only dream about. Here's the kicker. Enthusiasm is contagious. When you bring passion to your work, your relationships, your goals, people catch it. Teams rally, families unite, ideas grow. Your enthusiasm becomes a catalyst, turning ordinary days into moments of progress and impact. So, if you want to change your results, change your energy. Inject enthusiasm into everything you touch. Speak with conviction. Work with purpose. And above all, protect your inner fire from the downers, doubters, and energy thieves, because in the end, the world belongs to those who attack it with passion. Let's get one thing straight. Enthusiasm is not a personality trait reserved for the lucky few who were born with boundless energy. It's not about being an extrovert or the loudest voice in the room. Real enthusiasm starts as an inside job. It's the result of clarity, commitment, and the decision to care deeply about what you do. So, how do you spark enthusiasm when you don't feel it? Start with your why. What's the reason behind your work, your goals, your daily grind? When you reconnect with purpose, even the most routine tasks gain new life. The difference between drudgery and adventure is often just the meaning you attach to it. Find a cause you can believe in, even if that cause is simply becoming the best version of yourself. Here's the secret. Enthusiasm grows when you act in alignment with your values. If you're forcing yourself to chase someone else's dream or working at something that drains you, your energy will always feel borrowed. But when you put your time, focus, and sweat into something you truly care about, you tap into a wellspring of passion that doesn't run dry. This doesn't mean every moment is thrilling, let's be real. Some days will be a slog, but it means you have a reason to keep showing up, even when the shine wears off. Let's address the elephant in the room. Life is full of enthusiasm, killers, negativity, boredom, burnout, cynicisms. These are the weeds that choke out your fire if you let them. The good news? You can fight back. Protect your mindset like you'd guard your most valuable possession. Limit your exposure to complainers and critics. Feed your mind with books, people, and ideas that remind you what's possible. Celebrate small wins, practice gratitude, and never, ever let someone else's apathy become your ceiling. Here's a practical exercise. Start every day by focusing on one thing that excites you, even if it's small. Write it down, speak it out loud. When you deliberately choose to seek excitement and meaning, you train your brain to spot opportunity and beauty even in routine places. This simple habit can turn Monday mornings into launch pads, not obstacles. And don't wait for inspiration to strike. Move first and let the feelings catch up. Action breeds enthusiasm, not the other way around. Sometimes the spark comes after you begin, not before. So, dive into the work, throw yourself into the challenge, and watch your passion grow with every step forward. Most importantly, remember that enthusiasm isn't about hype, it's about depth. It's about showing up with your whole self energy, focus, and heart no matter who's watching. That level of commitment will separate you from the crowd every single time. In the end, enthusiasm isn't just how you feel, it's how you show up. It's the fuel that keeps you moving when others quit. And it's the one thing nobody can give you, but nobody can take away either. Let's get honest. Nobody wakes up every morning bursting with enthusiasm. Even the most driven, passionate people have days when their spark feels dim. Life happens, projects stall, routines get dull, and sometimes the finish line seems too far away to matter. The secret? Enthusiasm isn't about being on fire 24/7. It's about knowing how to relight the flame again and again, no matter how often the wind tries to blow it out. Start with your environment. You wouldn't expect a plant to thrive in a dark closet. Don't expect your energy to survive in a desert of negativity. Surround yourself with people who light you up, not those who suck you dry. Seek out mentors, peers, or even online communities where ideas flow, encouragement is real, and wins big or small are celebrated. Inspiration is contagious, but so is apathy. Choose your influences wisely. Another tool, fuel your enthusiasm with learning. Stagnation is a killer of spirit. When you're not growing, you're decaying, there's no middle ground. Make it a habit to challenge yourself. Read something new, try a skill outside your comfort zone, ask questions, experiment. Every time you stretch your mind, you remind yourself that progress is possible, and nothing charges up enthusiasm like a little momentum. But let's get practical. When you feel your motivation sag, don't wait for a bolt of lightning from the sky. Create your own energy. Change your routine, take your work to a new spot, put on music that makes you move, break a big project into tiny milestones, and celebrate each one. Sometimes, just shifting your perspective or your surroundings is enough to shake off the cobwebs. And let's not pretend enthusiasm means you're always cheerful or blind to reality. In fact, real enthusiasm is what helps you face challenges head on. It gives you the optimism to see past today's setback and the stamina to keep pushing forward. When you attack problems with energy instead of dread, solutions start to appear. Doors crack open. People who once ignored you start to notice. Why? Because nothing attracts support and opportunity like a person who believes in what they're doing, even if the world doesn't yet. Here's a challenge for you. Next time you hit a wall, instead of asking, "How much longer do I have to do this?" ask, "How can I bring more energy and creativity to this?" Sometimes the work doesn't change, but your attitude does, and that changes everything. Lastly, don't be afraid to share your enthusiasm. There's a myth that passion should be kept private, as if it's unprofessional or naive to care too much. Forget that. When you lead with genuine excitement, you become a beacon. You draw allies, inspire teams, and most importantly, you remind yourself why you started. So if the day feels flat, remember, enthusiasm isn't something you find, it's something you build. Start where you are, with what you have, and let the energy grow from there. Let's be clear. Enthusiasm isn't about never having problems. It's about refusing to let those problems define you. Life will throw curveballs, guaranteed. Projects will go sideways, plans will unravel, and people will sometimes disappoint. But here's the thing, your enthusiasm is the shield that keeps you moving forward, even when the path is covered in potholes. When you bring genuine energy to a challenge, you unlock creative solutions. Where others see a dead end, you start hunting for the side door. Enthusiasm doesn't just help you endure tough times, it transforms them. You begin to view setbacks as puzzles to solve, not signals to quit. And more often than not, you surprise even yourself with what you're capable of when you attack problems with a little spark in your eye. Let's talk about teams. One person's enthusiasm can lift the whole room. Ever seen a workplace or group where everyone's dragging, just going through the motions? It takes only one person to walk in with real passion to shift the mood. Suddenly, others are sitting up straighter, ideas start flying, and even the grumpiest, we've always done it this way, folks find themselves catching a bit of that fire. That's because enthusiasm, like laughter or a good song, is almost impossible to resist when it's real. But what if you're the only one in the room with energy? Here's the good news. You don't need a crowd to get started. Many great movements began with one person who cared more, believed harder, and kept showing up, even when no one was clapping. Let your own enthusiasm be enough. As you persist, the right people will find you'll inspire the quiet ones to finally step forward. Here's a strategy for the hard days. When you feel your energy slipping, focus on service. Shift the spotlight off yourself and onto how you can help someone else. Encourage a teammate. Cheer on a friend. Share an idea. The fastest way to rekindle your own enthusiasm is to spark it in someone else. You'll be amazed at how quickly a simple act of support can recharge your own battery. Remember, enthusiasm isn't about being perfect or pretending everything is fine. It's about staying open to possibilities and refusing to become cynical. It's a daily decision. Will I meet this moment with dread or with determination? Will I let the world wear me down, or will I show the world how it's done? Bottom line, your spark matters. Even on the darkest days, one small flame can light up a room, and sometimes that's all anyone needs to find their way forward. Let's talk results, because, let's face it, all the enthusiasm in the world means nothing if it doesn't lead to action. But here's where the magic happens. When you approach your work, your relationships, or your goals with genuine enthusiasm, you supercharge every effort. You bring a level of focus and intensity that's impossible to fake and impossible for others to ignore. You've seen it before. Maybe it's the salesperson who truly believes in their product, and suddenly the no turns into a maybe and then into a yes, or the teacher whose love for their subject lights up even the most bored student. Or the entrepreneur who pitches their idea with so much conviction, investors want to buy in even if they don't fully understand the product. That's the power of enthusiasm in action. It's the difference between simply doing a task and inspiring others to follow your lead. But let's be real, some people will roll their eyes. They'll call your energy naive or accuse you of being unrealistic. Here's the truth. Nobody ever inspired a movement by playing it cool. The biggest opportunities are reserved for those who care out loud and refuse to hide their passion. When you risk being enthusiastic, you risk being memorable. And in a world full of noise, being memorable is a superpower. Here's another secret. Enthusiasm makes hard work feel lighter. The chores don't disappear, the hours don't get shorter, but you move through them with more ease. You find yourself looking for ways to improve, to innovate, to stand out. You stay curious, you ask better questions, you bounce back from setbacks faster because your heart is in the game. If you want to boost your results, stop worrying about whether people will get your passion. Channel your energy into the work itself. The results will speak for you. Over time, the same people who doubted your enthusiasm will start asking you, how do you stay so motivated? That's when you know you're making waves. Let's get tactical. Break big goals into small, exciting wins. Celebrate progress at every step. Share your excitement even if it feels silly. Write your goals where you'll see them. Tell your friends what you're working toward. The more you lean into your passion, the stronger it grows, and the more contagious it becomes. And when the routine gets heavy, remind yourself why you started. Visualize the outcome you're after. Picture how your enthusiasm will lift not just yourself, but everyone you encounter. Your energy will outlast every obstacle, as long as you keep feeding it with purpose. Enthusiasm is a choice you make every day. It's the secret sauce that turns effort into excellence and dreams into reality. So don't hold back, let it show. Let's tackle the big fear, burnout. Even the most passionate people hit the wall sometimes. Life gets noisy, routines get stale, and you start wondering if your spark has fizzled out for good. Here's the truth. Nobody is immune to those low points. The difference is that enthusiastic people don't wait for the world to relight their fire. They become their own spark. First, understand that enthusiasm isn't an endless resource you can take for granted. It needs care, just like any fuel. Pay attention to your energy levels. When you feel yourself dragging, it's time to refuel, not to just push harder and hope for the best. Think of your enthusiasm like a bank account. Every challenge, every long day, every setback makes a withdrawal. You've got to keep making deposits if you want your balance to stay high. How do you do it? Start by reconnecting with what excites you. Take a step back and remind yourself what drew you to your work, your goals, or your relationships in the first place. Sometimes all it takes is a shift in perspective, seeing your daily grind as part of a bigger picture. When the details feel heavy, zoom out and look at how far you've come. Build habits that support your energy. This means more than just caffeine and motivational quotes. Get enough sleep. Move your body. Feed your mind with inspiring books, podcasts, or even just 5 minutes of quiet reflection. Set boundaries with negativity and limit your exposure to things that drain you. If you find yourself surrounded by constant complaining, change your scenery even if it means just going for a walk. Another secret, don't go it alone. Share your goals and your excitement with people who get it. Surround yourself with folks who lift you up and remind you why what you're doing matters. Sometimes, just talking with an enthusiastic friend or mentor can recharge you faster than a whole weekend off. And when you do feel the burnout creeping in, don't be afraid to take a real break. Rest isn't laziness, it's strategic. A day off to recharge your spirit can save you weeks of grinding with no passion. Come back with new ideas, new questions, and a willingness to start fresh. Finally, remember that enthusiasm thrives on progress. Set small goals you can hit daily or weekly and celebrate them. Each win is proof that you're moving forward. Success feeds enthusiasm, and enthusiasm fuels more success, a beautiful upward spiral. So if you feel your fire fading, don't panic. It's just a sign to pause, refuel, and reconnect with what matters. The world needs your passion at full strength, and so do you. Let's get to the real power of enthusiasm. It attracts opportunity like nothing else. In every walk of life, business, friendship, community, even chance encounters, people naturally gravitate toward those who radiate genuine passion. You don't need a fancy title, a mountain of experience, or a flawless resume. When you show up with fire in your eyes and conviction in your voice, doors start opening. People want to work with you, invest in you, and follow your lead, not because you're the smartest in the room, but because you make them believe something exciting is possible. Enthusiasm is your unofficial resume. You might not have the longest list of credentials, but if you bring energy, ideas, and commitment, people notice. They remember how you made them feel hopeful, engaged, ready to tackle something new. In a world where most folks are coasting, just getting by, the one who cares a little more and tries a little harder stands out like a neon sign in a power outage. This isn't magic, it's simple human nature. We all want to be around people who remind us of what's possible, who see the best in us, and who aren't afraid to take risks for something they believe in. Your enthusiasm becomes permission for others to do the same. You set the emotional tone at work, at home, in every room you enter. And if you think nobody's watching, think again. Even the most jaded cynics quietly take note when someone keeps showing up with passion. Here's another thing. Enthusiastic people get picked first. Managers choose them for special projects, clients want them on the team, and friends turn to them when it's time to solve a problem or start something new. Why? Because everyone knows that someone with enthusiasm is more likely to push through challenges, stay positive when things get tough, and see things through to the finish. But there's a twist. Your enthusiasm can sometimes ruffle feathers. Not everyone will appreciate your energy. Some may feel threatened or annoyed, especially if your passion highlights what they're lacking in their own work or life. Don't let that dim your light. Remember, you're not here to please the doubters. You're here to inspire the willing. Over time, even the skeptics will start to shifter. At the very least, they'll get out of your way. Finally, remember that enthusiasm, like any skill, grows stronger with use. The more you show up with energy and heart, the easier it becomes. What starts as a conscious effort soon becomes your second nature and your biggest advantage. So, own your enthusiasm. Let it be loud. Let it be seen. The world has plenty of critics. What it needs are more people brave enough to care out loud and act on it. Let's get practical. What happens when things go sideways? Because, let's face it, No matter how fired up you are, life will occasionally throw a pie in your face. Projects flop, ideas get rejected. The universe seems to be on a mission to test your patience and your sanity. Here's the trick. Enthusiasm doesn't make you immune to setbacks, but it does make you bounce back faster. Enthusiastic people treat problems like plot twists, not tragedies. Where others see an ending, they see a fresh challenger at the very least, a great story for later. You might hear them say, "Well, that didn't work, what's next?" instead of sinking into a funk. This isn't naivete, it's a survival skill. When you respond to setbacks with energy and curiosity, you stay in motion and, as every physics teacher and entrepreneur will tell you, motion beats stagnation every time. Here's a funny truth. Enthusiasm makes you stubborn in the best possible way. When you care deeply, you don't quit after the first no, or the second, or even the 10th. You adapt, you improvise, you find another door, or you build your own. Failure stings, sure, but it doesn't have the power to stop someone who still believes in the why behind their effort. Let's talk about learning. Enthusiasm turns every mistake into tuition for a better future. Instead of beating yourself up for falling short, ask, what can I use from this? How will I do it differently next time? This mindset transforms setbacks from anchors into launch pads. You waste less time on regret and more on progress, and that's a competitive edge most people never develop. Remember, your attitude is contagious, especially during tough times. When you bring hope, humor, and a let's try again spirit to a challenge, you create an environment where others are willing to jump back in too. Teams recover faster, families rally sooner, and you spend a lot less time stuck in the land of what if. Don't forget to celebrate the wins, especially after a rough patch. Sometimes the smallest victory after a string of failures is the one that keeps the flame burning. Treat yourself to a small reward, share your progress, or just take a moment to recognize that you kept going when quitting would have been easier. Here's your takeaway. Enthusiasm doesn't guarantee you'll always win, but it guarantees you'll always be in the game. And as long as you're playing, you've got a shot at the next breakthrough, the next connection, or the next idea that finally sticks. So, when life throws a wrench in your plans, don't lose your spark, add a little more fuel. If nothing else, you'll have a good story for the next time someone asks how you kept going. Now, let's talk legacy. When you show up with real enthusiasm day after day, it doesn't just change your mood, it changes your reputation. People start to associate your name with energy, hope, and possibility. You become the person who brings the spark, the one everyone wants on their project or in their corner when things get tough. That kind of reputation is priceless, and here's why. In a world overloaded with doubt and cynicism, genuine enthusiasm is rare and is always in demand. Doors open that would otherwise stay closed. Opportunities start to find you, not because you're lucky, but because people know you bring more than just skills, you bring momentum. You become the kind of person others trust to rally the team, revive a stalled idea, or pull a group out of a slump. Even if you're not the most experienced or technically brilliant, your energy can tip the scales in your favor. Let's be honest, most folks never realize how much influence their attitude really has. They think success is all about talent, connections, or timing. Those things matter, sure. But enthusiasm multiplies whatever you bring to the table. It magnifies effort, smooths over mistakes, and even gets people to forgive your rough edges because they can see you care. You'll be amazed how many times someone says yes to you simply because they feel your genuine excitement for what you're doing. Here's a practical tip. Treat every interaction as a chance to make someone's day a little brighter. Show up prepared, greet people with energy, share ideas with excitement, and listen with intent. When you do, you'll be surprised at how quickly people start recommending you, connecting you, and bringing you in on their best opportunities. Enthusiasm doesn't mean you never feel fear or doubt, it means you act anyway, choosing hope over hesitation. It means being willing to look a little silly, if that's what it takes to move things forward. Most importantly, it means betting on yourself and your vision, even when nobody else does yet. Let's not forget, your energy sets a standard. Others will rise to meet it or quietly bow out. Either way, you end up surrounded by those who share your drive, your optimism, and your willingness to go the extra mile. So, if you want to build a reputation that opens doors and stands the test of time, let enthusiasm be your signature. The results will follow, and so will the right people. So here's the bottom line. Enthusiasm isn't just a nice to have quality. It's the engine that turns vision into reality. It's the X factor that lifts you above the noise, the force that keeps you going when logic says you should give up, and the light that draws opportunity, allies, and luck to your side. Talent matters, resources help, but nothing beats the raw, undeniable power of someone who's fully alive to their own mission. Don't wait for permission to get fired up. Don't wait for perfect circumstances or applause from the crowd. Bring your own spark. Cultivate it. Feed it. Let it show, even if others don't understand, even if you have to start small. That's how every movement, every breakthrough, every meaningful project in history has begun with one person refusing to hide their passion. Make enthusiasm your daily practice. Start each morning by reminding yourself what you're excited about. Look for reasons to care, even on the tough days. Find ways to inject energy into your routines, whether it's turning up your favorite song, sharing your goals out loud, or simply refusing to let cynicism get the last word. Remember, you won't always feel the fire burning bright. That's okay. Real enthusiasm isn't about bouncing off the walls, it's about steady commitment. It's about reigniting the spark again and again every time life tries to douse it. On the days when your fuel runs low, borrow some from your wins, your why, and the people who lift you up. Enthusiasm is a magnet for growth. The more you use it, the more opportunities you attract. The more you share it, the more you inspire those around you. You become the catalyst, the person others remember, the one who raised the bar, the leader who made things possible that seemed out of reach. So, what's stopping you? Take that first step. Show up with energy. Dare to care more than is cool or expected. The world is hungry for people with fire in their eyes, people who turn ordinary days into stepping stones, problems into possibilities, and ideas into real living progress. Your journey starts with a decision. Today, I choose enthusiasm. I choose to go all in. I choose to be the one who lights the way. Make that commitment, and you'll be amazed at what follows. The future belongs to the passionate. Make sure you're one of them.